everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I have another Halloween look for you. Obviously it's still the month of October and yeah, this time I decided to turn myself into a ventriloquist dummy. I really can't pronounce it. One of those people like Jeff Dunham. Only I decided because lately I've really been into vintage stuff. You know, I decided to not go for one of those like new timey things, obviously, because they're less creepy. I decided to go for a vintage one. You know, like in that movie Dead Silence, like it's full of plot holes, but you know, the effects were fun. By the way, for other children of the 90s, the one Goosebumps episode with like the ventriloquist dummy. Yeah, I've seen it, and ever since then I never liked those dummies ever again. So yeah, just really that type, that old-fashioned type of dummy that I went for. So let's get started. To start off with, I'm going to apply a primer, and after that I'm just going to do my eyes first this time. That feeling of a fresh product. This is the Maybelline Color Tattoo, by the way. I always use this as a primer, and my old one, after literally years, is finally empty. So yeah, now I'm like, it's so perfect I almost don't want to touch it. But I'm gonna do it because I need to prime my eyelids. So what I'm going for is pretty much this, but then on my eye that's still bare. I'm going to start out with a crease shade. Well, crease shade. It's pretty much a soft sort of warmish brown. I want to go for warm shades, sort of a nude look, but sort of dramatic as well. So yeah, but everything is usually with eye makeup at least starts with a transition shade, so I'm just pretty much pulling it up almost to my eyebrow. Like that. And then on a smaller brush I'm going to use the same color and pull it beneath my eye. And yeah, you know, dolls don't usually sleep, especially creepy ones. I think. Well, I think non-creepy dolls don't regularly sleep either. Point is, I want to not look too bright-eyed and awake and, you know, healthy and nice. Try to look creepier. So I'm also pulling it quite deeply beneath my eyes to really make it look almost as if I have bags underneath my eyes. I like that. Very charming. Charming. I pronounced that weird. Anyway, then I'm going to move on to a sort of, yeah, warm brown, really warm brown shade, much deeper than the other one. And putting that in the outer corner in the crease. And keep in mind, if warm shades aren't your thing, of course you can just easily use cool tones, like it's not as if you need to use warm shades for this look to work. You know, it's supposed to be like a vintage ventriloquist. I always struggle with that word, ventriloquist. One of those people, like, you know, people who like have a puppet that can talk. Point is, one of those creepy dummies. You know, there's no rules as to how they should look. They regularly usually look sort of creepy. But, you know, just, you can always just change the makeup depending on your own taste. Like, you can do a full, like, winged eye look for all I care. But yeah, I'm just going to pull this dark shade beneath my eye as well in the outer corner. Just blending it inward. And making sure it's even with the other side. Then I'm moving back to the blending brush. And blending it out. I do want to look like a professionally made puppet. And not a cheap one that someone just randomly splattered paint on. I want it to be nicely blended. And then on the moving eyelids, I want to keep it bright. But again, I'm going for a vintagey look, so I don't want to use straight up white. I'm going to go for very pale yellow instead. Just because to me it looks far more vintage than, you know, actual complete white would. And then I'm just going to go back to my tiny brush to make sure it's all nicely blended. Next step is rather tricky. So yeah, one thing I can recommend is use an eyeliner that you know is not going to crease, especially for underneath the eye, because you don't want it to crease. At least I don't want it to crease. Second, use an eyeliner you're comfortable with. Normally I'm most comfortable with liquid liner, however for very tiny details I tend to be more comfortable with gel liner, so that's what I'm going to use. Also I'm using a nail art brush because they're typically even thinner than any eyeliner brush I've ever seen. You can use an eyeliner brush, just be very careful with it, don't push it down because it will be too big then. And lastly, if you really don't feel comfortable going to do what I am going to do, like painting eyelashes on your eye, you can always just use false eyelashes. That's always better than accidentally ruining your look while you're actually getting ready for a Halloween party. I'm keeping the inner corner clear because I want a more like doll-eyed effect. By the way, obviously the illusion isn't going to be perfect if you have your eyes closed. Because of course your eyelid is not flat probably. But yeah, I am going to actually try to like make it one thing, just so the illusion when I have my eyes open is as good as it can be. In the outer corner I'm also leaving one tiny bit of space free. Just so it really looks like as if it's been painted on. Then just applying a nude pencil in the waterline to make the illusion complete. I was contemplating applying foundation, however I do want my face to look uneven and dirty and not nice and clear, so it's sort of be pointless, so I'm going to skip foundation and immediately move on to dirtying my face with a contour stick. I'm basically using the exact same technique I did with the, what was it, the Eerie Jester. Only now I'm of course using a cream product. By the way, I'm pulling it, the brush, I'm just squeezing it and pulling it over the product so it gets on the brush. And then just pretty much stamping it on, dirtying my face. And of course I'm applying it sort of in my contour zone, just so that's immediately an effect we also get. Because I want it a little bit darker, I'm also very gently applying a contour powder, a very dark one. I don't want this to be too dark, so I'm really just, you know, stamping it on really. Whatever you do, just don't blend, because for this look we obviously don't want it to be blended. On the highlight zones I'm going over it with white eyeshadow, well, contour shade pretty much. The brush just fell. Anyway, this is just going to bold mattify those areas, and also it's just going to make them a little bit paler. For blush I'm using red, really putting it on the apples of my cheeks, and very subtle as you can see. Now I'm just pretty much painting 2 red dots on my face. Also a little bit on the tip of my nose and on my chin. My eyebrows I'm keeping fairly natural, I'm just going to make them a little bit more angry. And also just very obviously painting some stripes in them, just to make them look a little bit more like they've been painted on my face. For my lips I want a pouty look, but not a true lipstick look. So I've just filled in the insides like this, and then I'm just going to blend it out. Just having a little bit too much fun here. Okay, then once you're done having too much fun with the mirror, yep, then it's just time to add the more dull, well, the more mechanical doll-like things, like making sure that the jaw looks like it's not actually attached to the rest of your face. And just going to blend out the edges slightly with the first eyeshadow I used, just so it really looks as if it's like inside the face. Preferably waiting until the liner is dry. I'm also going to use some black eyeshadow with it, otherwise the shadow isn't deep enough for my preferences. I'm pretty sure that the scariest thing about the clip you just saw was probably my lack of acting talent. Seriously, I just tried to think of how a puppet would act, and I didn't get further than like very stocky movements. Yep. Anyway, I really do hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please click the like button, it would really help me out. And if you want to, you can also subscribe to my channel. For this particular video, below the video, of course, as always, you can find a full list, or unless YouTube ever changes its like whole the way its screen is built up. In the description box at any rate, you can find a full list of all the products I've used today. And as always, if you don't have those products, you can just use whatever you like, whatever you have. Doesn't matter. Anything works. Well, probably not anything. I would prefer to do this with makeup. Don't use actual, like, normal paint on your face. Point is, yeah, you can find the full list down there. You can also find a full list of all my social media accounts and names down there as always. Yeah, I'd especially love it if you want to follow me on Instagram, because I always share it there as well whenever I upload a new video onto my YouTube channel. Yep. Other than that, thank you very much for watching this particular video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!